Hey guys, welcome to Hawkeye's Drift Garage. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to go over my setup for drifting using the Simagic Alpha Mini wheelbase on Assetto Corsa. I'm going to go over the Alpha Manager setup. I'm going to go over the Assetto Corsa setup through Content Manager, and then I'm going to give you guys a quick comparison between the Fanatec CSL DD and the Simagic Alpha Mini. Just a quick disclaimer and good news actually for me. I've recently become a partner with Simagic as an ambassador, and I will be running their Simagic Alpha Mini wheelbase, their P2000 pedals, and their Q1 sequential shifter for this upcoming year. I am really stoked and excited to be a part of their team and bringing you all this cool content that I've been sharing. If some of you have seen it already, it's really cool. However, I'd like to just state really quick that, all my thoughts and opinions and comparison with the Fanatec CSL DD and the Simagic Alpha Mini wheelbase are of my own thoughts and opinion. I just want you guys to know that that's clear. Simagic has no influence on this part of my video. So let's get to it. All right, guys, let's talk about the wheelbase really quick. This wheelbase probably weighs about 10 pounds. It's really nicely made. It's really solid. Bolts onto the bottom, the sides, or the front. I have mine currently mounted to my GT Omega Art through the bottom through 4 bolts. It has a quick release hub because I got the GT1 wheel setup configuration along with my wheelbase. Now you can remove this portion of the hub and bolt your wheel on directly to it from what I've been told. You can also use your own quick release hub if you have like an Energy or another company's hub, but Simagic sells there for relatively cheap. So I would recommend just getting one through them if you can. If not, Energy and all that stuff should work. You don't need to have like a specific brand wheel or whatnot to run it with your Simagic, which is really cool. I'm currently running the GT1 wheel configuration. It's really nicely constructed. These paddle shifters are really nice. Buttons are all really nice. Toggle switches are nice. It's got a really cool carbon fiber finish on it. Also on the wheelbase itself. It's really nice suede. Feels really good at the hands. But I usually drive with gloves anyways, but either way. It's got a couple of knobs that work here, turn as well. I use these buttons for like reset to pits or other settings here and there, but so far, solid construction. Really happy with it. I'm really excited to be running this wheel. All right, let's look at the software setup.
Let's talk about the Alpha Manager setup on my Simagic Alpha Mini wheelbase. Right now, I'm currently running a total force feedback of 100. I always run my force feedback at 100 because when you don't, it tends to not make your wheel feel 100% correct. Like if, say, for example, you run 50 force feedback on here and you run another force feedback setting in Assetto Corsa, in car, in game, the wheel won't react the way you want it to 100%. Now, if you keep the total force feedback at 100% and you adjust the force feedback in car, in game, you will get a much better feeling and response out of your wheel than turning down the force feedback in game. Smooth level, I have it at 2. I want the wheel to have that raw feeling. Too smooth is not a good thing, in my opinion. You want to have that feeling. This is a personal preference, so I run mine at 2. Wheel inertia 0, wheel spring 0. The force feedback automatically takes care of this on its own. You don't need it. Makes the wheel feel funky for drifting if you turn these on, in my opinion. Wheel dampener, I think between 15 and 20 is good here. Wheel friction 12. Wheel speed, want that thing at 100. Suspension, I have it at 9. I want to make sure I'm getting all the feelings of the roads and however the car's reacting to whatever I'm driving on. So feels good at 9. Game spring, game dampener, game friction, game inertia, all at 100. Interpolation level 1. I run a rotation wheel angle at 1080. This is all personal preference. So you can change it to 900, 720, whatever you like. But I think 1080 feels the best for my use. All right, next we're going to go to Content Manager and go to your control settings. For steering, we're going to want to change your rotation to whatever you have it set out in your Alpha Manager. And then you're going to go over to force feedback. Gain, I run 100%. Filter, 0%. Minimum force, 0%. Curb effects, I run 5%. Road effects, I have this up to 30. This wheelbase gives a really nice road effects response on this game, or on the simulation, I should say. So I run it a little higher than I typically would. Slip effects, 5%. Soft lock, we have it turned on because on direct drive wheels, we've noticed that the force feedback kind of dies when you hit maximum wheel lock. And to avoid that, soft lock actually creates this kind of like stopper effect from when your rack reaches the end. So highly suggest to run soft lock so you can get that feeling. Skips force feedback steps, I run at 1. Post processing, I have center boost gain at 0%, center boost range 10%, low speed threshold 3 kilometers, low speed force feedback strength 1%. Experimental, I have that off. Next, we're going to go over to your CSP settings, custom shaders patch, go to force feedback tweaks here. I currently have everything turned on except for the range compression assist. The more physically accurate gyro implementation strength, I have it at 25%. And I have the output real steering forces to wheel peak torque set at 10 Newton meters because that's what the Alpha Mini is capable of. And that's it for my settings on the Simagic Alpha Mini wheelbase. Now, when you're in game, in car, you're going to want to run, I would say, probably between 35 to 45 force feedback. That's what I found feels best for the wheel. It might be a little strong for some. So if it is, go down in the force feedback strength. Find what works best for you. I typically run around 40 to 45. All right, let's do some driving.
Feels really good. Smooth. Real quickly, let's take a look at the actual casing here. It is made out of solid metal all the way around. The logo here is silk screened on. This portion is made out of real carbon fiber. The shaft is all metal. The quick release is aluminum. And then when you look at the GT1, the hub itself is made out of aluminum with a real carbon fiber cover.
and the paddle shifters are also made out of real carbon fiber. This thing is really nice. It is just really well thought of in terms of racing, and Simagic did a really good job at putting this product together. All right, now that we've gone over the Simagic setup, let's go head over to my Fanatec CSL DD setup that I currently have set up for guests or friends who want to come over and also do some driving and whatnot. This was the Fanatec CSL DD unit that I was previously running before my Simagic. But yeah, let's talk about this unit a little bit and give you my thoughts. All right, let's take a really quick look at the CSL DD. The casing itself is made out of metal and plastic, most of it metal. The front and the back covers are plastic. The shaft is made out of both metal and plastic. I recently had a friend who sent me a photo of this area here snapping. I'm not sure if he was road racing or doing some other type of racing and had the 8nm version, but I am currently running the 5nm version of the CSL DD and have been fortunate enough to not have that issue. So let me know if you guys have had that issue or have broken at that shaft point behind the clamp. I am running the CSL Universal Hub from Fanatec. This thing does feel a bit quite cheap. It's pretty much made out of mostly plastic and maybe Durlan in some areas, but for the most part, it flexes a lot, makes a lot of noise while I'm driving, which you'll see in my driving video shortly. The portion that connects to the shaft here is made out of plastic. It's not really that well made for the price point that it's available at. And you know, that's my mistake for purchasing this versus the Podium Hub or one of their other universal hubs that they offered. But yeah, so far quality wise, not that great. These do slide out so you can adjust the positioning on them. I don't recommend using it for road racing if you are planning on using a deep dish wheel because it is very hard to reach the paddles. But one more thing that I forgot to mention that I do not like about the Fanatec is that you have these pins that you have running through the hub or your wheels that go straight into the actual wheelbase itself. And I have seen people break these, so be very careful when you take this off. Right off the back, you can hear that. I don't know if that's just the wheel hub itself making that noise or if it's actually the CSL DD base making that noise, but I don't like that. It feels sloppy. I feel like really cheap plastic portion of it, but I guess that's what you get when you pay for the CSL Universal Hub versus the Podium Hub or whatnot. I don't know if you guys have those issues for those running it with those units, but let me know your thoughts. Yeah, let's do a couple laps.
All right, guys, there you have it. That was my quick setup for drifting on Assetto Corsa with the Simagic Alpha Mini, as well as my comparison between the Alpha Mini and the CSLDD from Fanatec. Overall, in comparison between the two, I think that the Simagic Alpha Mini is a much better wheelbase. It's really solid, smooth. The slight adjustments that you make in the software are really noticeable, as well as the universal aspects of using your own quick release or bolting your wheel directly to the wheelbase itself are a really nice feature. For the Fanatec CSL, I do think it is a great unit to at the price point that they offer it at. I do, however, feel that there are some things that Simagic is more superior in terms of construction and consumer universal use. It's really nice that Simagic has those options versus Fanatec, where you have to use their ecosystem wheel hubs or their wheels directly onto their units. But overall, good stuff. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Hawkeye's Drift Garage. I hope that you find this content useful for your sim drifting needs. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them as soon as possible. If you guys could do me a favor, please like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.